Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? It is the Wednesday before American Thanksgiving. As a Canadian, we celebrate with my family in October. Obviously, the harvest in Canada is earlier because of the latitudes. Pretty much the same holiday minus the American football. But we still me and the wife enjoy American Thanksgiving as a little time to ourselves. I'm thankful for everybody who watches this channel and interacts. And you guys mean the world to me. I love this channel dearly. It's been a crazy last few weeks here. My wife hit a deer with my van, Town & Country, and we've been waiting for insurance reports on that for over almost a week now, I think, maybe more. Just taking their sweet time. Of course, my kid came home sick from school last week. I got little symbols of that. I'm not too bad, but a little bit of aches, and we open on Monday. Soft opening for the coffee shop, which is exciting. It's been a long road, and we've had a lot of little things we've had to jump through these last few weeks, paperworks and emails, and just a lot of little things we had to finish up for inspections, and been very busy, very exhausted, but also quite enthusiastic and excited. It's going to be a cool thing, and most of my foods reps and just the number of people come through here, I've been really impressed by it, which is all you can ask for. And if a guy who goes into restaurants and coffee shops all day walks in and he's amazed and impressed, that's a pretty tough audience. They see every new establishment that opens up. And we definitely have a niche here. We definitely have something unique, which in any business model, something unique is a great attribute to have. So again, we're excited about it. Hopefully our revenues are solid enough to justify all of what we've done. And for the most part, we've done a lot with a pretty tight budget. Thanks again to my neighbor, Ben Mulholland, who's a contract construction worker who has helped me at a good hourly wage get a lot of things done on this house. Not just the coffee shop. He's been a godsend, an angel, if you will. This guy has been there to help us do a lot of things over the years since we moved down here. And there was supposed to be a role fulfilled by my brothers, who all live within the area. But family, they're busy. They got things going on, and they don't mind saying no. And this guy lives right next door. So it's been a real a blessing. And I don't know where we'd be without him. He's helped us get so much done. Aside from the electrical and the plumbing, which we had to obviously contract out. And we paid good money, especially for the plumbing. My goodness. Upwards of $20,000 for the plumbing in this place. For literally to plumb out one room. They had to drill through a 10-inch bank vault floor, which probably didn't help none. But, it's been quite the process. So, thrilled to be done with principal construction. I got a few pieces of trim to paint. A few I's to dot. But we're across the finish line, and we've been given the okay to open up on, we could have opened up yesterday, actually, but we're going to open up on Monday since we don't have all of our coffee supplies and our food supplies. Food comes in on Friday. The coffee cups and all that stuff's supposed to show up today. But so, yeah, it's been quite the process, and I've learned a lot. I wish I had gone through this before because I would have stressed a lot less knowing how everything's turned out. We haven't really hit that huge pitfall or that huge uh-oh moment. There's been a few times where I thought we might, but the cosmos has been watching over us. The inspectors were really cool. If anything, they might have overlooked a few things just to be like, this is really cool. Good luck to you guys, and so that's pretty awesome. I do want to share with you a fun 10-inch I got recently. I got it probably a month ago. I haven't had a chance to share it yet. My time has had such demand on it lately. But it's another old Bethlehem 10-inch with the beautiful logo by the great Helen Carr. I did have a modern reissue of that 10-inch, on 10-inch at least, but it was never quite satisfying. I love the old Bethlehems, the way they feel, the way they look, the way old records smell. So when I got a chance to pick this one up for a good price, I think I paid $30 for it. And I've seen this one for a couple $100 many times. So I was pretty thrilled. And it's also got a great burnt gold black cover, which most Bethlehems of this era do. Down in the depths of the 90th floor. great cover, Manhattan Feeling. It's a song I've heard numerous people do. I know I have a version of Peggy Lee doing this. But it's a nice little collection of songs with the Bethlehem band behind her, essentially, with Mariano, Don Fagerquist, Max Bennett, Stan Levy, and a guy by the name of Don Trenner on the piano, who I'm not super familiar with, but I've heard the name a few times. So I was thrilled to kind of get the authentic original version of this, which I have the entire Bethlehem 10-inch discography, and I have for a couple years now. But I've actually replaced a few of them that were reissues over the last couple years. And there's only probably a couple left that are still reissues, Japanese. I have almost all of them as originals now. And again, it's just because people don't know how great Bethlehem is. It's fantastic stuff. I had this order that I'd placed from Italy from a Discogs seller well over a month ago. And we came to a negotiation on 9 10-inches. I think it was 8 initially. And right after we made the deal and he took them down off Discogs, he claimed he couldn't find one of them. And it was the most expensive one of the bunch. And I suspect that once he took it down, somebody else was watching it and threw him an offer that was better than my offer, part of that bundle. And so he told me he couldn't find it, and maybe that was true. Maybe he couldn't find it. He travels all over Italy, so he says. And again, it seems to be true in the case. A month went by, and he still hadn't sent me a tracking number or shipped them. And he said he was down in Naples for a while. He lives up near Turin, Milan area. But it was really getting me stressed out. I was like, man, these are records I really want to finish off my discographies. This almost wraps up a couple of labels that I'm collecting. Actually, 3 labels were going to be finished off by this purchase. And the Esoterica is finished now. And the DG label, the Dizzy Gillespie Detroit-based label, only 5 10-inches. I got the last one I needed on that from him. And he finally sent me a tracking number like 4 days ago. And it still looks like it's in Italy in the airport, but it's finally on the way. And again, it was causing me quite a bit of stress. Like, I worked hard on negotiating this deal, looking for these records. A couple of them you can't find anywhere else online right now. And so to finally have gotten these tracked down. And he said he was going to look for the Art Pepper over and over again, this discography 10-inch, Discovery 10-inch. But he never found it. So then I'm trading a couple Clifford Brown 10-inches on the G&P label that I have a 12-inch version of, but I always kind of wanted to have the 10 inches. So I'm pretty happy with that trade-off. But that Art Pepper now is the one 10-inch on Discovery that I don't have. And it's the only thing in the Discovery label from that era that's avoided me at this point. It took me a few months to find most of the titles. There's actually some really, really, really good titles in there, man. It's great. I need to dig deeper into listening to them. I just haven't had the time lately. But I'm about to have lots of time in this room. I'm about to be in here 10, 12 hours a day, which is going to be plenty of time to go through records and dig deep. But, I'm excited about that, too. This is why I wanted to do this. I wanted to make a living hanging out listening to music. And that's what the Cosmos has provided for me. And if our projections are better than what we assumed, and we made our projections really low, just to be safe, and the numbers still worked. But if we double those projections in terms of sales, which in terms of the excitement and the level of anticipation for this place in town here even, I think we will double those projections. It means that we should be doing pretty well in a few months. Which, I'm just thankful. Thankful to the Cosmos to have lined this up for me, because this is truly what I've always wanted to do as the next chapter of my musical loving DJ career. I'm over going to the bars and hanging out till 2 in the morning. I want to do things on my level, on my time, where I decide what gets played and what the atmosphere and the vibe is like and how strongly we're going to promote the music versus everything else that the restaurant's about. And so having all that in my control and being in the scene for 25 years, I've seen a lot of what you shouldn't do. I've seen some of what you should do. And consistency is a hugely important thing. If you're going to do something on a Friday night, you got to keep doing it. You can't waffle back and forth. Be consistent and show up and do what you're going to do in spite of who shows up. And if you do a good thing long enough, it will become a scene. even here in a small town 15 minutes from Rochester, I believe I can make something really cool happen here, given me a year to do so. I've talked about doing some live streaming on my Friday night gig sets. And again, I'm not starting those right away, but it's honestly not something I know how to do really. And I think there's a Facebook option to do it, but I guess I'd like some feedback on you guys. And you guys be interested in having a live stream on my Friday night sets or the grand opening, or I've had some comments in that vein, so let me know. But I've pretty much only been collecting 10 inches lately. There's a little bit of the jazz canon from the early 50s that's really a 10-inch era. And the LP starts being introduced in the early 50s by some of the bigger labels, but some of the smaller labels stayed 10-inch. And that transition to 12-inch killed some of them. They couldn't survive it. So most of what I'm buying and collecting right now is the 10-inch era stuff. And it's filling in some interesting gaps, teaching me some of the chronology, some of the history, some of the what label bought what label when stuff. And it's a pretty convoluted arena, this jazz era. It's a very difficult time going from the 78 era into the 10-inch era, into the 12-inch era. A lot of changes, a lot of inventory, and just it was very destructive to a number of those small labels. And so a lot of them had 10 inches that ran nice sequences, and then when the LP era starts, they disappear. And Blue Note almost sold their titles to Atlantic in 1955. So pretty much the whole LP era on Blue Note almost didn't happen. It's hard to imagine. And while at Atlantic there was plenty of great stuff going on, what happens at Blue Note is a special entity, and it's a course traveled only by Blue Note in a lot of ways. So interesting times, and I'm enjoying collecting the 10 inches. They are fun to collect. Of course, they're hard to find, but they're also pretty much almost guaranteed to be original pressings most of the time. Most 10-inch albums didn't get reissued beyond 55. And if they did, they got transitioned onto a 12-inch LP, often with another 10-inch or some single 45s added to it to extend the length of the play. So the 10-inch era is a unique little time with some great art, because the art on LPs starts in that time. The 78 era didn't have album art. That's very much a 10-inch era. Jazz, Burt Goldblatt, David Stone Martin, these guys were kind of innovating album artwork. And everything that we've imagined in album artwork in the last 60, 70 years, we owes a debt to the jazz era, especially the 10-inch era, when the album art starts becoming a thing, and you get beautiful covers like that. So I got some fun 10 inches I want to show you, but I'm not going to show them to you today. I got a lot of stuff I got to get done. I want to wish all of you a very happy Thanksgiving. Once I get this shop up and running next Monday, I should be able to establish a more consistent time frame with when I make episodes like I used to. It's been a little hectic, to say the least. But I also fell off a scaffold about 3 weeks ago. We were putting up ceiling tiles. My foot slipped. My knee caught my fall, the back of my knee. My body kind of swung on that knee, lurching the knee hard. And it was pretty badly hurt for about a week and a half. And I couldn't play basketball. I haven't been able to play basketball at all the last 3 weeks with being busy and with this knee injury. The knee is feeling better, but there's still some soreness in the back end of it. When I move it certain directions, I'm like, ooh, it still hurts. So there's been a lot of crazy things going on. But we have reached the end of the road in terms of construction and getting to this point. So we're excited to move forward, and we'll talk to you all soon. You have a great holiday. Y'all be safe. Peace. I do also want to mention that those Jazz Shopper Reacts videos, they're fun to make, but they've often been getting blocked when I try to upload them. So I've been inserting those photos in there to break up those episodes so that the bots don't get so sensitive and block my episode efforts. So that's why those photos are being inserted that way, to allow those episodes to air. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Thanks.